In this video, you're going to learn about 5 insane CapCut editing tricks that are going to take your videos from basic to immaculate. So no more beating around the bush, we're going to get right into it. First editing trick is going to be face tracking. Face tracking is when the camera is going to follow your face. You're just going to keep your face in the middle of the frame the entire time your video is playing. Now this is something that could be useful if you have a lot of movement, if you're doing a lot of movement with your camera stationary. You're not going to have to actually move your camera at all. You can keep your camera still, but you can do a lot of movement within the frame and keep your face still in the middle of that frame. And this is how you're gonna do it within CapCut. So the first thing we wanna do, come into our CapCut app, and we're gonna have some sort of clip recorded. As we see, if I play this through, this is the clip that I have. As you can see, my face and head are clearly moving from side to side within the frame so that I can show you exactly how this tip is going to work. So to get this to actually work, we're going to want to highlight that clip that we want the face tracking to take place in. Then we're gonna come to the bottom of our screen. We're gonna scroll until we come to camera tracking. So we have camera tracking right here in the middle. We press on that. Then the next thing we're gonna wanna do is camera tracking. That is going to simulate camera movement, meaning that it's gonna seem as though the camera is following one specific area on our bodies. And as you can see, you have different options. We have body, hand, and we can customize what we want the camera to follow. But for this example, we're gonna want to cover our face. And that's the first one that is highlighted. And as you can see, if we look at the video itself, there is a blue box around my face. That is CapCut's AI saying, all right, this is what we believe the face that we're going to be tracking is going to be. So that is what we want to follow. So if we already have everything that looks right, we're just gonna want to press track. So if we press track, then we see that in the background, the AI is working. Now from here, if we just press play, we see that yes, our face stays in the middle of the frame, but if we look at the actual video, we see that it doesn't look good because the entire frame actually moves side to side and there's some blurred background, being that is what we have. So if we have blurred cameras, let's say we take that off and we press play again. Now you can see what I mean. The background is black because my face stays in the middle. So to avoid that black background, what we're gonna wanna do is, you see these adjustment options that we have. We can keep face size, but for what we're gonna wanna do here is we're gonna wanna fit canvas. So if we toggle that on, then you see the CapCut zooms into our face. When CapCut zooms into our face, that's allowing CapCut to keep our face in the middle of the screen without moving the frame all the way to the side, and we're not gonna have anything in the background. We're gonna keep the same background, but we're not gonna have anything black or blurry in the background. And that's something that we want. So if we press play from here, you see I'm moving side to side, but my face is still staying in the middle of the actual frame. And that is what we want to have happen. So when you're going to do something like this for your videos, you want to make sure that the camera is far enough back from you so that when CapCut zooms in, you are not taking up too much of the actual frame itself, and that the zoom in just doesn't look awkward or anything like that. Because if I filmed a video like this and I was doing movement, when I want to fit the canvas and when I want to have that camera tracking, that face tracking, it's gonna zoom in even closer and it's gonna be too close and the video just isn't going to look good. So that is how you do face tracking within CapCut, but remember to keep the camera far enough away so that when it actually does zoom into your face, it still looks good in the final product. The next editing trick that you're going to learn about is cutout. This is going to allow you to cut yourself out from any background that you have. Now again, we're gonna come right into our CapCut app. We already have a clip into the editor right here. As you can see, it's a very short clip of me talking. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out that background, and that's going to allow me to add any other background that I wanna have. So what you wanna do, you wanna make sure whatever clip you want cut out, you have that highlighted. Then we're gonna come to the bottom of the screen. We're gonna scroll until we see remove BG, which is removing the background. So we select on that. Then CapCut is very good at doing this itself with the artificial intelligence that it has. So we can, most of the time, select auto removal. If you feel like it's not going to do its best job, you can do custom removal and select the area that you want cut out. So, but for this, we're going to press on auto removal. And as you can see, CapCut is applying this auto removal. And now, as you can see, there is no more background. It's just a black space behind me. Because I don't have a background right now, this is going to allow me to add whatever type of background I really want to have in this specific clip. So now if I come to the bottom of the screen and I scroll all the way to the right, you see background at the very bottom right of the screen. I select on background, I can select a color and I can select whatever color I want. If I wanted to add a certain image, I can do that too. So as you can see, I have an abundance of options when you actually remove the background from whatever clip that you remove the background from. The cutout is just a great feature that's going to allow you a lot more freedom when it comes to editing your videos. It's going to allow you to do whatever you truly want with your videos. And a good way to think of this cutout feature is basically using a green screen without needing or having a green screen in your videos. Because a lot of videos, we may want to add something to the background, but we don't have that type of background that would fit what we want to add in there. This cutout feature, there's so much stuff online where we can find exactly what we're looking for. All we have to do is just add it to our video with a cutout background. And that's how you're going to utilize the cutout feature, the remove background feature within CapCut. The next editing trick I'm going to show you is the voice isolation feature. Now this is something where, let's say you have added music to your video, but you don't really want the music. You can isolate the voice of that music, or you can do the complete opposite. You can take away the voice and just have the music itself. And this is how you're going to be able to do that. As you can see, we are back into this same video that we just saw, but I have an added sound to this video. And if we play through it, you can hear that this is what the sound actually sounds like. There's the music, there's the voice in the music. You get the idea. It's just a regular song that is there, that is added, that has been added to this clip. Now, if I just select that clip, make sure it's selected, then I come to the bottom of the screen, I scroll until we see isolate voice. Now, if I press on isolate voice, I can either select keep voice or remove voice. For this example, we're going to press keep voice, and we're going to press on that. And then we're going to press play, and we're going to hear the difference between the original and now. So if I do that, you can hear already that it's just the vocals from that song. Now, if we wanted to do the opposite, we would select isolate voice again, and then we can say remove voice. So if I press remove voice, you see that it's isolating the voice. It's going to remove that. It's going to take maybe a minute or two, but once it's done, you're going to see the end result. Now that CapCut has done its job, we press on the check mark, and then we press play. You can hear that there's no more vocals. It is just the music itself. And that is going to allow you, again, a lot more freedom with everything that you choose to use within your videos. There's so many more options when it comes to the freedom you have and the creativity you can put out there when you are utilizing tools like this within CapCut. And that is how you're going to be able to isolate the voice or even remove the voice from any sound that you're using within CapCut for your content. The next feature we're going to talk about is the Chroma Key feature. Now, this is something that is typically used on strictly green screen videos, but you can also use it on other content, on other types of videos that you're using as well. But for purposes of this video, I'm going to show you how to use it on a green screen video. So in our CapCut app, I already have a green screen video uploaded. This is the video.
Worth it?
I'm sure you all might have seen this before at one point or another on the social media platform.
If it's strong enough.
The video, and as you can see, it has that green screen. We don't want to have that. This is where the Chroma Key feature comes in to actually help you. So in order to use the Chroma Key feature, what we're gonna wanna do, we're gonna wanna highlight that clip. We're gonna wanna come to the bottom of our screen. We're going to scroll until we come to remove background. So we're gonna come on to remove background. And then you see we have the Chroma Key feature. If we press on Chroma Key, then you have this color selector that pops up. This is going to help you eliminate all of that green screen around it. So we come to the video and then we scroll until we come to the green. So as you can see, we have the green, the circle is on the green. that means that is going to eliminate any of that color that it senses within this video. Now, if we come to the black, it's not really gonna help much because it's black. It changes that color to black. And that is why we're gonna come over the green. As you see, we're over the green. It completely removes all of the green in the video. And then if we come more to the bottom of the screen, you see the intensity, meaning that we can eliminate even more of that green if we want to. If we raise it all the way to 100, but let's just keep it around there with 56. And you can adjust a few other features about it that make minor changes to the Chroma Key feature that you just used. But whenever you're done, all you have to do is press on the check mark. And then now, if we look at our timeline, it still sees it as a green screen video. But when we look at the video itself, there is no more green screen. It is just a black background, and that is exactly what we want. That's what the Chroma Key tool does. It eliminates any color that you actually have in the video. So let's look at another example of using the Chroma Key for a color that may not be for a green screen. We're going to go back to that video where we used the face tracking. So if I highlight that video and I come to remove background at the bottom of the screen again, press on that, come to Chroma Key, and I can select this background color. But as you can see, I selected a specific color. Whatever the software senses as that color is going to turn black. So as you can see, it thinks some of my face is the same color as that background, so that's why some of my face is black now. And if I come to my shirt, it's going to eliminate a lot of that color. As you can see now, most of my shirt is black. And if we come to this, let's say this white color over here, again, it eliminates a lot of that color, which is in the background. If I come to my hair, it's going to eliminate a lot of that color. And again, same with all over. But you get the idea of how the Chroma Key actually works. And that is what you need to keep in mind moving forward when you want to use this tool for your content in CapCut. The next editing trick that I'm going to talk about is keyframing. And keyframing is something that is actually extremely easy to use within CapCut, but it's also going to make your videos so much more dynamic. It's going to make your videos have that extra piece of flair that it may be missing when you are just creating a regular piece of content. So what keyframing does, it adds a lot more movement to your videos without you having to actually do anything to your camera. So just like how face tracking follows your face around, face tracking does utilize keyframes, but it just does it automatically for you. Instead of you having to meticulously add keyframes throughout the entire video, face tracking just adds it itself. But with keyframes, you can be a lot more specific with the movement that you want to add to your content. So to do keyframing, you're going to come back into our CapCut app. As you can see, this is the same video that we did the face tracking on. But let's say I didn't want to do face tracking. I just wanted the video to go side to side in a very smooth way without necessarily following my face the entire time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight that clip. And as you can see, if we look right below the video and above the timeline, we have a diamond here. That is going to be our keyframes. So if I press the diamond there and we look back on the timeline, I have a red arrow because I am over that. If I move off of it, the red diamond isn't there anymore, but I am on my first keyframe. So let's say I just wanted to zoom in a little bit to right about here on the video. I would then add another keyframe, and now I have two keyframes inside my video. Now, the first keyframe tells CapCut this is where I want to start the movement, and the second keyframe tells CapCut this is where I want to end that movement. So like I said, I want to zoom in. So this first keyframe, I'm not gonna touch the actual video itself, but because I wanna zoom in, I'm gonna come to the second keyframe, make sure that it's red. When it's red, that means you can make your adjustments to the video itself. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit to the video. Now, if I come to the first keyframe and I press play, you see how the video actually starts to zoom in until it reaches that second keyframe. When it reaches that second keyframe, that's when it stops. That's when the movement stops and it just stays there the rest of the video. Now, if I wanted to zoom back out, I can come a little bit further down, add another keyframe, and then I can zoom back out. So now we have 3 keyframes. The first keyframe tells CapCut this is where I want the movement to start. The second one says this is where I want that movement, that first movement to end. And then the last one says this is where I want that second movement that I added to end as well. So that is how you need to think of keyframes: the start, the middle, and the end. So if I press play, you can see that the first keyframe, it's zooming in. Then as soon as it reaches that second keyframe, because I have that third keyframe, it's telling it to zoom back out, and it does that until it reaches that last keyframe. And you can get very creative with this. Let's say I wanted to zoom back out on this one, but I also wanted to just move the frame all the way off to the side as well, if I wanted to do that for whatever reason. If I press play again, I'm telling it to zoom in, and then I'm telling it to zoom out while pushing it to the left side of the frame. And then it does that until it reaches that keyframe, and then the movement just stops from there. That is how you're going to utilize keyframes within your videos, because again, keyframes is one of those things that adds that artificial movement, but that movement can be very smooth, and it's just going to be so much better for your content when you're creating it. And let's just say you wanted a much faster zoom in, zoom out. We can add that key. We have that first keyframe there. Let's get rid of these other keyframes real quick. So in order to make the zoom in faster, all you have to do is just add the keyframes closer together. So if I add one not nearly as far away, and I just do the same exact thing, you're gonna see how fast that zoom in actually is. So when I press play, you see how fast that first zoom actually is. Keyframes is something that you can have a lot of fun with and play around with, just to add a lot more dynamic movement to your content, thus making it much more appealing to your audience. And there you have it, 5 insane CapCut editing tricks that you can utilize in your next video. These editing tricks really aren't hard to utilize, but they are things that when you know how to use them, your horizons for editing just open up tremendously, especially within CapCut, because CapCut helps make things so much easier for you. But other than that, that's all I have for you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions about CapCut or the editing tricks that I showed you in this video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, because making this content is something that I love doing, and when you subscribe, that makes me want to continue to push to make more content like this for you. And yeah, other than that, that's all I really have for you. My name's Steven. I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Peace.